So today we're going to be talking about, this is part 3. I just keep going because so many cool ideas come to mind. I decided to put them out. I just love how my pen matches my shirt. It's one of my favorite colors, cerulean. This is more, anyway, stay with. So this video, we're going to talk about how you can know that God is picked for you. This is part 3. We'll talk about the places that she hangs out. Okay? So, let's get right into it. On these lives, I never wait for people to show up in the chat because I have a ulterior motive for these later that I'm in the process of doing. So let's get right into it. So how can you tell if God has picked it for you? If you're an apex Christian, or if you are an apex human of any kind, you're going to have certain standards. And the people that you engage with, how they live and where they're going is going to have an impact on you. So you can tell a lot about a woman based on where she hangs out, who she hangs out. So based on her habits, her hobbies, and her hangouts, you can tell a lot about her. You can tell if God has picked her to be a sexual partner for you or a wife. And today we'll be talking about 5 ways to tell if God picked her for you based on where she hangs out, what her hobbies are, and what her habits are. All this is all incorporated into this. So let's get right into it. The first thing that you're going to notice, that you're going to pay attention to, you need to pay attention to, is where she shops for clothing. Now, I'm not going to name all the stores because I don't know them. I don't go to women's clothing stores typically. I don't shop with women. I think it's a very bad policy. And if I'm ever with a female and she wants to go shopping with me, it's likely I'll drop her immediately and say, we don't need to talk anymore. Because I just think that it's asinine to torture oneself when life is hard enough as it is. So I don't do it. But I have been to women's shopping centers and women's clothing stores because I know women. I have women as friends and I have women as family members. So where she shops is going to say a lot when she shops for clothes. I'm going to give you some basic breakdowns. Does she shop at slutty shops, meaning shops that sell clothing that's provocative, revealing? It looks like harlot clothing, like what a low-priced harlot would wear. That's going to tell you a lot about her. Does she shop at thrift stores for her clothing? It's going to let you know how she feels about herself as a person. Now, finances aside, maybe she's super duper broke and she's very intelligent when it comes to thrifting, and that thrifting is now a thing. So take this one with a grain of salt. In the mall, there are a lot of slutty little stores, but there are also high-end stores like the Armani store. I don't know all the name brands, but you know they are, right? You can go to those stores. And if she shops there, that means she has money, but it also means she takes care of herself and she dresses well. If she likes to shop on a budget and she's going to places like that are more wholesale store, like box stores, well, think about if she's going to a Target or a Walmart. And of course, they're kind of the same thing, but the way things are presented and packaged at Target is a little bit more quality. Walmart is completely focused on mainstream, high production trash. And that's why I don't shop there. All right, let's see. We got a lot of engagement in the chat. Thank you guys for showing up. All right. Zoe, welcome back. I think I remember you. It's been a while since I've been on. So anyway, Melissa, hello, Melissa. Welcome back. I remember you from another video. Shift 8 yawns. Shift 8 says, welcome Jesus into your heart. Yes. All right. And then Katla Longi, thank you for that love. Love you too. Melissa, thank you. Thank you. All right. Jesus would not talk about women in the way that you do. You're right. Jesus wouldn't do that because Jesus lived in first century Judea. He would have been speaking Aramaic, and he probably wouldn't have talked about women going to shopping malls because he was not exposed to that. So you are empirically accurate. All right. Leighton Vernell said, Steve. All right. All right. Shift 8 has a mental issue. All right, Zoe. Yeah, I'm talking. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. So this is what we'll do. We'll just get rid of Shift 8 because Shift 8 is, I don't know, mental illness. Mental illness is real, y'all. Thank you, Shift 8, for giving us an example of that. All right. Kayla. Oh, sorry, I said it wrong. Kayla. Oh, thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Kayla and Melissa. And we're going to, let's see. There we go. Nice. All right, Zoe. All right, Zoe, thank you guys. Okay, so the second way that and I know if you're a lady and you value yourself and you are an apex woman, an apex Christian, um, think about these things. You probably already do these things. So, maybe this will just help reinforce what you already know. Thank you for the likes, ladies. All right, so the second thing to notice if God has picked her for you, the second thing to notice about her hangout spots is where she shops for food. Now, again, finances aside, is she shopping for food at places that promote health? I'm going to put it that way. Now, 99.9% of the stores in the United States are going to sell poisonous belly filler. That's just the way they are. All of them, even Whole Foods. However, there is a culture of health at a Whole Foods or a Nugget or a U-Crops or whatever the equivalent health food store is. There's a Trader Joe's or Sprouts. There's a kind of a culture of health there. If she shops at a food place that has a culture of health, that means she wants to take care of her body. She values herself. And this is the kind of woman you're going to want to pursue. This is the kind of woman that God is going to pick for apex men. Let's see it in the chat. Kayla says, have the best day. Thank you, Kayla. Melissa says, sorry, I'm not a lady. I'm just on my mom's account. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Melissa's child. Oh, you're an 11-year-old boy. Thank you for letting me know that. I've gotten a lot more aware of how much profanity I'm using. I'm not using as much. I think I'm a lot happier as a person. So Kayla, yeah. So yeah, the second thing is if you're an 11-year-old kid or something like that, and you're watching this, if the girl that you are interested in pays attention to what she puts into her body. She's not filling her face with candy or she's filling her face with sugary drinks or things like that. She's taking care of her body. So, does she shop at the Piggly Wiggly for her food as opposed to the Whole Foods or the U-Crops or some of these better stores? If she's going to the Piggly Wiggly because that's the only store that exists in her town, then don't judge her. But if there's a Whole Foods 2 miles down the road and she's choosing to go to a Walmart or a Piggly Wiggly, take that into account. She may not be what God has for you. But everybody can change, everybody grows. Third place where she hangs out. Pay attention to, oh, wow, you already have a girlfriend, you're 11? God bless you. Please don't do anything sexual with her. Does that count? That's cute. 11-year-old, you have a girlfriend. That's so cute. Yeah, just stay away from any of the adult stuff if you're 11. Just stay away from it. It's a force and a power that Melissa's offspring, I don't know your name, don't have to put your name in the chat, but it's a force and a power that you don't want to get into too early. It's like a nuclear bomb. It's like if you had a nuclear code and you could push a button and drop a nuclear bomb on a country. Getting sexual too early, Melissa, I know you're a young man, but getting sexual too early is like dropping an atomic bomb on your life. And too many people do it in our society, and it leads to a lot of problems down the road. So I highly recommend that you stay away from sexual interactions. If you have a girlfriend that's just a girl you like, maybe hold hands, maybe you have a little peck on the cheek or something like that from here and now. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that really causes problems. But just be very cautious and careful with sexual energy because it is divine energy, and it's what God has given us to connect with Him. When we have sexual experiences, we're connecting with God. And if we do that with people that are not equally yoked or not aligned with what God's best is for us, we are potentially telling God that we want less for our life, and God can only give us what we will receive. So be very, very, very cautious about that. Just thought I'd put it out there. You're an 11-year-old boy, so I know the hormones might start to rage, but just be aware of that. God wants the best for you, and you deserve the best as a son of the Most High. So just keep that in mind. All right. Thank you, Melissa. Oh, Luke. Okay, I'll refer to you as Luke. Oh, Kayla. Thank you for the like. So, the third place that she hangs out is going to tell you a lot about her. And that third place is where she works out. And I'm talking where she takes care of her body. Now, does she go to spas? You know, she's 11 years old. She's probably not going to spas unless she comes from very upper echelon and she's going there with her parents. But does she go to spas? Does she go to nice gyms? Does she go to outdoors hiking? A lot of women don't necessarily want to go to the gym because they get oogled and googled and boogled by men. And I understand that. But does she take time to go to places where she takes care of her body? So where she works out is going to tell you a lot. Now, if she's going to the really super duper cheap gyms and just showing off her body, well, then she's not an apex woman. She's not an apex Christian. She's not the woman that God has picked for you. So keep that in mind. She's just going there to get attention from males. And a woman like that doesn't have a very high value for herself. She doesn't have a purpose. She doesn't have a path. She doesn't have a pleasure for this world that God wants to share with humans. So just keep that in mind. Is she a hiker? Does she go outdoors? Oh, and by the way, when she's shopping, is she going to places like REI or health stores or things like that? I mentioned that earlier, but anyway, we got some activity here. Kayla, thank you for the likes. Oh, she plays volleyball. Good for her. Good for her. Thank you for pointing that out, Luke. Because if a woman is taking care of her body, and this is one thing I've noticed, I've lived in a lot of upper echelon communities and dealt with, I mean, a lot of my friends are like upper echelon people, meaning they're apex individuals. They're people who are fortunate to have the finances or fortunate to have the lifestyles that allows them to have additional funding so they can take time to take care of themselves. Look, you can be broke, you can be living in your car like I'm doing, and you can still dedicate your time and money to taking care of your body. So it doesn't mean that rich people are the only ones that can take care of their body, because you may not have a lot of resources financially, but you still take care of yourself. But like Luke was saying, she plays volleyball. Is she active is what I'm saying. Is she taking care of herself, taking care of her body? Is she into gyms, going to the spa, going to stores that sell products that increase self-care? All right. So Luke says, sorry, but I won't say that. Don't worry. You don't have to say anything else about it. And it's totally fine. I actually like that you brought that up, Luke, and I really appreciate that, because women that work out, there's something about a woman that works out, a woman that takes care of her body. I will not engage with women that are clearly not taking care of their body. A woman that does not take care of her body does not honor God's temple. And if she doesn't honor God's temple, she's not going to honor you as a man. And so first thing that she has to do is honor herself and honor God and honor herself. And so that's very, very important. Oh, thank you, Kayla. Kayla said you're the best person is the best life in the world. Yeah, when you're the best person, you do have the best life. And when you have the best life, you share that with other people. And your love, your kindness, your genuine, authentic spirit is something that spills out and impacts. That's a really cute girl tripped. Anyway, you're probably hearing the thing. Anyway, so yeah, Luke says, and sorry to hear that you're living in your car. I'm living out of my car out of choice. So it's something that this is an opportunity God has presented to me. And I have taken the opportunity to grow and improve myself as a result of living in my car. So I'm actually loving it. So thank you for the compassion. But I do feel really good. I love my life. I have an exceptional life. All right, so that was the third thing, where she works out, where she takes care of her body. The fourth place that she hangs out that's going to let you know whether she's a daughter of the Most High, whether she is an apex woman that God has picked for you to be married to or eventually, sexual with, is where she worships. So this is very important. Where a woman worships or where a lady worships is so important. Now, where she worships, I'm not just talking about church. The club, sports arenas, these are all places of worship. The sports stadium is a place of worship. The church is a place of worship. The university lecture hall can be a place of worship. The club, I already mentioned the club, is a place of worship. It's where we go to get our spiritual fulfillment. And so is she going to church all the time? You got to be careful of a girl that is in church all the time, because that means that potentially she doesn't have spirituality outside of the faith community. And if that's the case, well, the faith community is going to determine her relationship with God, not her. She has to be in charge of her relationship with God. The same with men. If you're a young lady and you're looking for a man and he's at church all the time and he's letting his pastor and his deacons and the elders, or he's at the masjid or whatever, or the synagogue all the time, and he just cannot get away from it unless that's God's path for him, but he's doing that as a crutch, or she's doing it as a crutch, be very careful of that. So churches, clubs, bars, things like that, that's where people get their fill. By the way, a bar where people drink alcohol all the time is where they're getting their spiritual fulfillment. So keep that in mind. So where she worships is very important. A daughter of the Most High typically is going to, outdoors. I mean, I didn't want to forget that one. Is she hiking a lot? Is she taking time outdoors? God's presence is very, very, very palpable in nature. You can feel God's presence in nature. And if she's spending her free time hiking or going to the gym, these are places of worship. I consider the outdoors to be God's cathedral. And so I really appreciate it. Museums are also a place of worship. I mean, she's an intellectual, so she's probably an apex woman. All right, let's see here what we got. So, thank you, Luke. I appreciate the subscription. Yeah, and the channel name will probably change to The Apex Christian. Right now it's Apex Christianity. I go to a lot of channel name changes, but you'll notice it'll still be there. All right, thank you, Luke. All right, thank you, Kayla. You said you're the best person. I appreciate it. All right, and so the fifth and final place that's going to let you know if this is an apex Christian woman, if this is an apex human woman, is where she works. Now, if she's chosen to work in a strip club, it's going to be very hard for you to be able to identify her as an apex woman. Now, all that aside, I am sure that there are women that work in strip clubs that are children, daughters of the Most High. They realize that, and they're doing a ministry there. You know, they are ministering to the men who come and look at their bodies. I know it's a stretch, but this is apex Christianity. This is not the mainstream stuff. So we actually see God and know God and trust God. We don't believe in the church's malarkey. So there's a possibility there, but it's very slim. The likelihood is if she works at a bar or a club or a strip club or something like that, it's not likely she's an apex Christian. But if she works at a place that is like a hospital or you got to be careful there too. But basically, she's working in a place with a zeitgeist or a spirit that is focused on helping people, improving other people's lives. She works at a school with children, or she's a university attendant, or she works at an arboretum, or she works at a zoo or something like that, or even a shelter for animals or something like that, or she works in tech industry. Pay attention to where she works and the kind of people she surrounds herself with, because that's going to let you know whether she is a woman that God has picked for you. All right. So, oh yeah. So I'm talking also to adults, Luke. So thank you. There might be an adult in the community talking about the strip club stuff. But yeah, no. If you're dealing with 11-year-old girls, they should not be anywhere near adult facilities, gentlemen clubs. They shouldn't even know what those are, to be honest with you. So that's what. So we'll go over it real quickly. There, you can tell a lot about a woman about based on what her habits, hobbies, and her hangouts are. So there are 5 places that a woman hangs out. They're going to tell you what kind of woman she is. Is she a woman that God has picked for you? Where she shops for clothing? Is she shopping at the slutty shops, or is she shopping at the modest shops, the nice shops where they sell clothing that is very attractive, very, very beautiful, but also is modest? 2, is she shopping for food at places that have a spirit of health? A Whole Foods, a Sprouts, a Nugget, a Trader Joe, one of these sorts of places, local healthy markets, as opposed to a Walmart, a Piggly Wiggly, those sorts of places. 3, where she works out. Is she working out at gyms? Is she working out outdoors? Is she hiking regularly? Is she taking care of her body? Is she going to spas? 4, if she is a daughter of the Most High, an apex Christian, where she worships. Does she spend a healthy amount of time at church, or is she worshiping in the club, in the bar, or at the hangout spots where people just go to oogle at each other, or the mall? Because the mall is a place of worship as well. It's where we worship money. All right. So, and then finally, where she works. Daughter of the Most High is going to work at a place that serves humanity in a great way. That could be a church organization, that could be a hospital, that could be a spa, that could be a clinic, that could be anywhere where people are being serviced by the Most High. So keep those things in mind. This is a little bit random video, but I appreciate those of you. Oh, Kayla is 8. You guys are so adorable. I'm like 4 times the age of all of you guys, and I think you guys are precious. I really hope that this was able to serve you. I love you, and I know that God loves you, and God has got your back. Stay prayed up, stay in Scripture, stay meditated up, stay in the Word, but also, if you are part of a Christian church community, understand that what I preach and teach and share here is not something the church is allowed to share, because this is deep, deep stuff. We're in deep waters here. So God bless you, Luke, Kayla, and have a wonderful, blessed day.